This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball on the banks of the Mississippi. A beautiful day. We're at Busch Stadium. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. And welcome to Cardinals baseball with Rick Horton. I'm Dan McLaughlin. The Cardinals have won the series. Now they look for a sweep here this afternoon. Ricky, great pitching matchup. Luis Castillo and Jack Flaherty.
Both these guys went at it on opening day. That was the 1st of April, and they gave up a lot of runs. Castillo gave up 8 and Flaherty 6, but Castillo has been good since then, and he's particularly good at Busch Stadium. 6 starts here in St. Louis, 4-1 record with a low ERA. Castillo has that great changeup. He is one of the National League's best. On the Cardinals side, Jack Flaherty's also been good since that opening day start. He's 3-0 in his last 4 starts, and Flaherty's also pitched very well at Busch Stadium, 8-2 overall with an ERA under 2. So expect, Dan, a low-scoring game here this afternoon.
Well, you say that, and then you look at the run support for these two guys. Jack Flaherty, look at this, 38 runs, most runs in support this season in the National League. Then it's Trevor Bauer, Kyle Hendricks, and yes, today's opponent, Luis Castillo. A 1-2 punch at the top of the lineup. Tommy Edman, Dylan Carlson, they're back in there today. The Cardinals looking for a sweep. Reds, Cardinals coming up on Bally Sports. Here in St. Louis, glad that you're with us on Bally Sports. It's the Reds and the Cardinals. Cardinals looking for a sweep. Now time for our Kia player profile. And it's brought to you by your local Kia dealers. And Ricky, we're highlighting Yadier Molina.
Well, you always have to check in on Yadi. Of course, he's missed a couple of games by missing today. But Mike Schilt expecting him to not have to go to the injured list. And let's hope not. His offense has been terrific. .339 average. He's shown power, driving in runs, high OPS. Yadi, of course, doing everything you want him to do defensively as well.
The pitching has been so good in this series. KK, Yadi, a big day. Game 1 does a carryover. Game 3 coming up on Bally Sports. Stadium in St. Louis, and glad that you're with us on Bally Sports with Rick Horton. I'm Dan McLaughlin. It is 59 degrees, a cool afternoon, but blue skies. This time yesterday, it was pouring down rain. We had the 2-hour, 20-minute rain delay, but the Cardinals would take game 2. And now, no matter where you're at, you're hoping that they take game number 3. Cardinal fans everywhere here in downtown St. Louis.
Not a bad view there. Not a bad view for you and I, Danny. And we saw a good, crisply played game yesterday, the low-scoring game after the long rain delay. And, you know, I expect more of the same. We've talked about the great run support that the pitchers have received in 2021, but Flaherty and Castillo will both be very, very tough. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Jack Flaherty. Throws his fastball about 93 miles an hour on average. The slider is really kind of the key pitch for him. That's his wipeout pitch. He'll show the curve in the changeup, but the slider for Flaherty, 28% of the time, that needs to be sharp for him to dominate.
Alex Blandino at the top of the lineup. The Reds in the midst of a 6-game losing skid, so changing things up for David Bell. Then Winker dropping down to number 2. Castellanos, Votto, Suarez, Senzel, Barnhart, India, and the pitcher Castillo.
So 2 very different teams. David Bell's team has been streaky in the early going. They started off great. Mentioned they've lost 6 straight. The Cardinals have been win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1. And that's why they have the 10-10 record coming into play today.
Yeah, very much a 500 team. And the numbers bear that out. 4-4 at home, 6-6 on the road. In the division, 4-4. Outside the division, 6-6. Any way you want to take a look at it, they have been 500. And this has been essentially their start the last 5 years, hovering right around 500. And the first pitch is hit out of play by Blandino, and we are underway. Riding a 3-game hitting streak. He's 4 for his last 6. So David Bell saying, let's ride the hot hand at the top of the lineup. And a fastball and a good one. 0-2. Blandino making his first opening day roster. He had reconstructive surgery on his right knee a couple of years ago. He was the 29th overall pick in 2014, and he takes a pitch just a bit low. Bruce Dreckman is our home plate umpire. Nick Lentz at first, Joe West, the crew chief, at second, and John Libka is down at third. Blandino is the first Red to wear the number 0. There have been several that have won 00. Omar Olivares, like we saw here in St. Louis. Kerry Robinson wore 0, but this is the first Red to wear the number 0. Upstairs, and it's 3-2. Flaherty in his last start and the one previous had good stuff, and he's talked about being more efficient.
And he got the quality start last time out, and I think he really began a string all the way through the rotation. Good Cardinal starts. Now just turn it over and start another string.
Last 5 games, the starter's ERA is 1.47. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That's how we start this afternoon. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Tyler O'Neill in left, Dylan Carlson again in center. Justin Williams is in right. Arenado, DeYoung, Edman, Goldschmidt along the infield. Andrew Kisner behind the plate. That was strikeout number 503 in the career of Jack Flaherty, most ever by a Cardinal through his first 80 career games, 16th most in Major League history. Here's Jesse Winker. First pitch, a strike. Jack will do that. He'll get his fair share of strikeouts.
He will, and he's not, he's not a 98, 99 guy either. You can still strike guys out if you've got 2 or 3 plus pitches, and he really has everything. He has command of the zone when he's right, and his fastball really rides too. He's got a lot of movement, late movement on his fastball. The changeup's kind of a straight changeup, fades a little, but the slider is the pitch that's devastating, and he throws it for strikes.
The 0-1. There's your slider, taken just a bit low. Shift here for Jesse Winker. Off to a good start, batting .373. He's popped 3 home runs and driven in 10. It's a good player.
And he likes the fastball.
Yes, he does. So what's he get? A little slide action that time.
I guess Andrew Kisner and Jack Flaherty read the scouting report on Winker. In fact, the highest batting average and slugging percentage against fastball in all of baseball going into play yesterday. And so he saw off-speed pitches from Gant, and he'll see some from Flaherty today.
Here's a 1-2. So if you're going to go in, get in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Flaherty has thrown 58% fastballs to start this season. And at the top of the lineup, a good fastball hitting team. There's a ground ball coming in. Tommy Edman, out number 2. Ah, yes, I've been waiting all night for this, and now the morning and into the afternoon. Ricky Horton's Toyota key to the game.
I'm so glad I can help you out with this key. And the key is to play clean defense. And the reason I say that, as Nick Castellanos gets booed over the key to the game, is that when you have a low-scoring game, defense really shows itself. Throw to a wrong base, an error that's made. Not turning a double play. Those things can be the difference between winning and losing if it's a 2-1 or a 3-2 game. Now, it may not be, but with Flaherty and Castillo, you almost have to plan for it. So the defense needs to be sharp, something Mike Schilt has been really emphasizing in the last week or so.
Swing and a miss. The slider. Castellanos slugging .637 on fastballs going back to the beginning of 2019. That's not a small sample size. 10th best in Major League Baseball, so Flaherty starts him out with the slider. Gets another one. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good numbers against Flaherty too. 4 for 10 with a home run. As I mentioned yesterday, this guy is a good mistake hitter too. I mean, if you're a big leaguer, you can hit mistakes, but some guys are better than others, and he'll hit breaking balls if they're not good ones.
And the 1-1 pitch. Your point and your key to the game is such a good one, Ricky, and we talk about it all the time. When you have, and the Cardinals did not play one-run games until the series in Washington.
Right.
And the difference in one of those games was a botched relay.
That's right.
Just magnified at this level. These guys are so good. They're the best in the world at what they do. And if you make a mistake, they burn you.
And I am unbelievably pleased that long wait through the night and the morning, you are happy with the key to the game.
I'll sleep better tonight. Tell you that.
That's good.
Now I want to see it play out in this game. Then I'll really sleep better. Crowd comes alive on 2-2. In the air, shallow right, late break by Williams, but plenty of time to get under it, and makes the catch. On opening day in Cincinnati, mid-30s, it didn't matter. The Cardinals got at Castillo. Another crack at him here today. It's baseball. Dylan Carlson 1-2, then Goldie Arenado, DeYoung, Williams. He moves up. O'Neill, Kisner, and Flaherty. Jack Flaherty batting ninth, and on the mound for Cincinnati it'll be Luis Castillo. And when he's right, when that changeup is working, he is awfully good.
Going to throw a lot of those changeup to left-handed batters. There's just three in the lineup with two switch hitters at the top, Edman and Carlson, and then you add Justin Williams. And he will not throw sliders to them. He's mostly going to throw a fastball changeup to the lefties, but that changeup can be devastating. It's a wipeout power changeup from Castillo.
He's throwing it 41% of the time. And the first pitch to Tommy Edman, taken low and outside on a gorgeous day here in St. Louis. You got the Sunday hats, and now you got the Sunday helmets. Edman with a base hit into right field. Just keeps on hitting.
Well, and this has been a story for Castillo on the other side. He's had some rough first innings. His ERA in the first inning is very high, and the Cardinals had something to do with that on opening day. But Tommy Edman at the top of the Cardinals lineup. One good at bat after another.
He's now reached base safely in 20 of 21 games to start this year. And when he scores like yesterday, the Cardinals are 8-0. Here's Dylan Carlson. Shift on the right side. It's hard not to think, at least for me, when I watch Castillo, and I'm not saying he's Pedro Martinez, but he throws the changeup
right.
like him.
Yeah, he does. Well, nobody's Pedro Martinez.
No. That was his boyhood idol, and those two hooked up and talked about the changeup. Both have exceptionally long fingers, which helps with the changeup.
Well, also when he came over to the Reds, he got connected pretty quickly to Mario Soto.
Another one.
Who had one of the best changeups. I mean, in the era of the 80s, he was unbelievable with that changeup. Talk about a power changeup. He'd strike you out with 3 of them.
That's when you know it's really good.
He'd tell you it's coming.
It's incredible.
Honestly, I mean, I had to bunt against him once. And he threw, and it was an obvious bunting situation. And I missed.
So you squared up.
I squared up, and he threw me 3 changeups in a row. And I couldn't put the bat on it.
Wow.
That may be more about me than him, but still, the fact that he would even throw that to a pitcher who's bunting, what does that tell you about the movement of it?
2-1 the count. Carlson 1 for 1 against Castillo, and that one hit was the 3-run homer on opening day. Cardinals got 6 in that opener. The 2-1 pitch. Edman, the runner at first. Inside with a fastball at 96.
Carlson's such a patient hitter. He doesn't get a lot of pitches in the zone, but it seems like that suits him fine. Carlson, Molina, Arenado all tied for the Cardinals in terms of the lowest percentage of pitches that are in the zone, but he's patient enough to take the walk.
So he's at 36%. Guys like Arenado, Abreu, Lindor, similar. Base hit, Dylan Carlson. Nice piece of hitting. Edman racing to third. Runners at the corners. He did that yesterday, Rick. He almost guided it up the middle. What a piece of hitting.
I like the hitting and I like the base running of Tommy Edman because he went to third because no one was home. He basically just raided third base. There's the pitch. Down and away, and Carlson hitting it right where it was pitched, and there's some hitting room right there on the left side of the infield. But with Blandino moving to his left, Tommy Edman just has to beat him or get close to him at the bag. The pitcher actually came over, Castillo, to cover third in case they threw there, but they thought better of it.
All kinds of room on the right side of the infield. A shift here for Goldschmidt. Chops it left side. That'll score a run. Out at second and safe at first. 1-0 Cardinals. The ground out by Paul Goldschmidt.
So the first inning lows for Castillo continue.
Arenado with hits in 17 of his first 20 games as a Cardinal. And against the Reds, a 5-game hitting streak to start this year, hitting every game. And he's driven in 5 of his 12 against Cincinnati. And the first pitch taken low for a ball. He's 4 for 7 against this right-hander. Nice crowd on hand. Boy, they have been vocal here early on in the season. They're excited to be back. The 1-0. I was thinking about what you said yesterday. Is it that they're vocal, or we just got used to the crowd being piped in artificially? And I think it's a little bit of both, but I think the crowd is excited to be back.
I think they are. And I think the other thing about having a real crowd instead of a piped in crowd is they're very genuine reactions to what actually is going on. You're not going to have a piped in boo of Nick Castellanos as an example.
2-1.
And the fans are knowledgeable, obviously, in St. Louis. Every player that's been through here understands that, visitor or home player. And so they get what moment is key. And it might be in the 6th inning, might be in the 7th inning. But in that 1-run game in the 9th inning when everybody was standing up, you could tell the fans were in the ballpark.
The 2-1 pitch. Arenado grounds it into a double play. Step on the bag, the low throw, the pick by Votto. 6-3 on the double play. 1-0 Cardinals.
Solid week for the Cardinals rotation over the past 5 games. 30 2/3 innings pitched, a 1.47 ERA, and it goes back to Jack Flaherty's start on Monday in D.C. Mike Schilt telling me yesterday he set the tone and the rest of the guys carried the mail. So how is the competitiveness among the group, among the rotation? That is something I asked John Gant after his nice outing yesterday. Gant told me we're a very competitive breed. Ultimately, we want the team to win however it gets done. That's fine. But it's not necessarily trying to one-up each other, just trying to throw the best we can for the team. Guys.
Here's Joey Votto. 225, no balls and 2 strikes upstairs. Is there a better feeling right now than John Gant when you come to the ballpark after a start like yesterday?
Oh, it's the greatest feeling. You've done your work, and it's a work day of sorts, but part of your work is just recovering the next day. I mean, you just kind of making sure you do everything, and kind of the aerobic part of it and then the cardio part of it, just to kind of recover. You're not going to throw a lot, but boy, when you're realizing that for the next 5 days you can sit on an outing like that, it is a very, very rewarding moment. And there's a look at those starters numbers that Eric was talking about. Last 5 starts, 1.47 ERA, and everything good about it. The walks down, that's the thing I noticed. 4.3 walks in the first 15, down to under 2. That's where it should be.
Votto, ground ball left side, knocked down by DeYoung from his knees, stretched by Goldschmidt, and the out.
Well, the defense got done there. We talk about playing clean defense. There's a layout, smothers it, wide throw, and Goldie with his patented, boy, it looked like he came off the base, but he didn't move. You ever get that sense watching it live, Dan, that he's coming off the base, but you see on the replay, no, he's not. He's just very intently making sure he stays on the base as long as he can and stretching out as far as he can. He does a good job with that.
Here's Suarez hitting 149. Three home runs. He's driven in 7, excuse me. 1 pitch. Nothing in 2. Nick Senzel on deck.
I think Suarez trying to live up to the 2019 numbers that he had, and I think he's trying to he really looks like he's thinking home run a lot to me, almost on every pitch.
Talked about it yesterday. He made a statement in spring. He wanted to get to 50 home runs, back to a full season, and pulling off a lot of pitches, swinging through a lot of pitches. The 1-2.
That's when you hear most players talk about the process other than the numbers. Very few players will talk about numbers. They're just thinking, okay, I want to be right with the process. I want to get the how down. If I get the how right, then the numbers follow.
The 2-2. Taken low. And the count runs full. The 3-2 pitch. Backhanded. Arenado settles. And a strike to Goldie.
Another example of the sound defense that Mike Schilt has been looking for. We talked about it in Dan's favorite key to the game ever. There's the backhand, and very he doesn't do anything nonchalantly, even on the defensive side. You notice how he went down to make sure he got that ball and realized because the ball was hit hard, he could make sure of it and get his eye level down to where his glove was and not just kind of reach down and hope for the best. I mean, he was on that ball the whole way, stayed on it, and his arm is terrific.
And a ball to Nick Senzel, 1 for 3 against the Cardinal right-hander. Since the start of the second half, historic second half of 2019, Jack has made 27 starts. That drops in at 76 miles an hour. And of those 27, he's had 1 bad start. It was last year, September, at Milwaukee. 9 earned in 3 innings pitch. This is popped up. Goldschmidt makes the catch in foul territory. Nice play by Paul Goldschmidt. 6 up, 6 down for Jack Flaherty. DeYoung, Williams, O'Neill coming up. Nice play in foul territory. 1-0 St. Louis. Highlights, live pitch by pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your Cardinals. Phillies will be in town tomorrow. That'll be the first of 4. Adam Wainwright and Zach Wheeler. If you have a ticket, 6:45 with the start time.
You were talking about the crowd last inning, and it's nice to see a lot of young people out at the ballpark too. We've seen a lot of shots of kids here with their family. It's just so great to see that. And I do think that as we get further and further into it, I think the crowd is more comfortable making noise too. We saw that in spring training. First couple of games, they were so socially distanced, they felt like, well, maybe I can't, maybe I shouldn't, and then by the end of spring training, they were much more vocal. And so I think that's happening here too, and across the country.
I would assume that we're going to see more and more stadiums lift restrictions in terms of having fans at the ballpark. Little squibber. India makes the play. That was darting back and forth on that ground ball. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Winker in left, Senzel in center, Castellanos in right. Blandino, Suarez, India, Votto on the infield. Tucker Barnhart behind the plate. There's Justin Williams hitting an even 200. Catches the outside corner for strike one.
He's hitting a hard 200 though.
Getting a chance to play every day. Cardinals have stated they want to find out about these young outfielders, and the way to do it is to play them.
He's had some impressive moments. Some work to do in the outfield, but I think at the plate we've seen him hit the ball hard a lot.
Ground ball right side. Flip to Castillo for the out. How about the ball he hit in Washington for the home run left center, that the young man that missed the first home run got the second?
Got the second one.
I bet his hand is still hurting or bruised.
109 miles an hour off the bat, and it was probably down to about 107. I don't know about how the friction works there, but I'm going to say he was glad that he was able to catch that ball and not get hurt.
More out of necessity, you think, with that catch?
Maybe.
Not the fandom.
Well, he got his second chance.
Can't believe that had happened. That's like Fred Bird's painting with Harrison Bader last year.
Well, as Red Schoendienst was fond of saying every year that I had the fortune of being around one of the great Cardinals, he would say, if you watch the new season, you will see something you've never seen before.
Every game.
Yeah.
Every time you come to the ballpark.
Yeah, something different. But I think in Red's case, I think that maybe the operative word there was watch and pay attention. And baseball is a thinking man's sport.
Well hit into right center at the wall. Gone! Tyler O'Neill, opposite field home run. His second of the year. 2-0 Cardinals.
Well, this is the Tyler O'Neill that everybody wants to see. The short stroke, the quick stroke. Boom. How fast that bat goes through the zone. Right center field power. Carry. Still think he has a great upside.
I love the fact that he let the ball get deep.
Yeah.
He's strong enough and quick enough with his bat to do that. Both of O'Neill's home runs have come against the Reds. And in a start by Castillo, hit one off of Cam Bedrosian in the opener after Castillo was removed in that game. Bedrosian has been released by the Cincinnati Reds. 2-0 Cardinals here in the home half of the second. Andrew Kisner, big double yesterday, provided some insurance. And the 1-1. Chopped towards third. Blandino Tavato. Tyler O'Neill, his second home run. He's now driven in 4. 2-0 after 2. Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. 2-0 solo home run hit by Tyler O'Neill moments ago. Add a Jack Buck statue to your collection. 10,000 fans entering with a ticket. Cards and Phillies games April 26th through the 28th. Take home the replica Jack Buck statue. Includes a voice chip thanks to Ameren, Illinois. Cardinals.com/promotions. Jack Flaherty has been 6 up, 6 down. And he'll have Barnhart, India, Castillo 7, 8, and 9. Barnhart, good start, batting .341. Couple of home runs. He's driven in 9, and that's strike 1.
I wonder if his decision to go left-handed only, and of course it has to do with production, better production from the left side, but even that ballpark. Think about the ballpark in Cincinnati. You can do a lot more damage from the left side.
Especially if you could turn into, and I'm saying this is high praise, but a Ryan Howard type or Jim Edmonds type left-handed batter that lets the ball get deep and you just flip it out to the seats and left.
Yeah.
Think about the Green Monster in Boston. You think about the seats in Houston. Jimmy made a living out of that.
And one wonderful day pitching in the historic Fenway Park, and it lasted about an inning and a third as a start, and there were a lot of balls hit off that wall.
3 hops, outfield grass, Edman. 4th ground ball out. Here's Jonathan India. Flaherty has been really good at home. His last 12 home starts, 8-2 with a 1.75 ERA. 82 strikeouts in those 12 home starts.
I think it's early enough in the season we can still refer to spring training because it really wasn't that long ago. And Jack was not sharp. And he thought, well, boy, I don't know. We didn't see him a lot. Threw a lot on backfields and not a lot of, the Jack Flaherty that you know. But what I've seen in the last 4 starts now, I get the sense that Jack is back.
Slowly but surely getting back locked in. I got to wonder, too, in spring training if more teams will do what the Cardinals did this year and put guys on the backfields. You just don't expose them to some of the teams that you're going to face. Cardinals facing a bunch of those teams early on, like Washington.
Yeah, and the Cardinals were unique, and I guess I didn't fully track that early in spring training, that it was a unique thing to the south of Florida. If you look at what the Arizona spring trainings were like, they played everybody in Arizona because they're so close. But in Florida, they didn't want teams to travel long distances, so it was basically a heavy dose of the Marlins and the Mets and the Astros and the Nats, and that's kind of was your schedule over and over and over again. And Flaherty would have pitched against the Nationals 3 or 4 times in a row, and I think Ponce de Leon pitched several games in a row against Miami, and so you just hard to manage around that.
One way or another, you got to get in your work, and you would know this better than anybody else, Ricky, as a former player, a starter, reliever, coach. It's one thing to get your work on the backfields against your own team. It's another, though, to face somebody live.
It really
of another
is.
team.
And it's another thing for a pitcher to do that in just a 24-game schedule instead of a 31-game schedule. And I feel as if the starting pitching in general in baseball got off to a slow start because of that.
Very well could have.
I don't think they had enough time to lengthen out and get all kind of the bugs worked out, go through the dead arm period and all that. And I think the early on starts are just indicative of that. Now hitters, they need a couple of days.
And they're ready to roll.
Why is spring training so long? That's what they'll say.
Get me out of here. 3-2 hit to DeYoung. Another ground ball out. I've talked to players, position players and pitchers about it. I said, what about throwing against, your own teammate or facing your own teammate? And they go, I hate it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't like it. What if one gets away and I'm trying to bust him in and I hurt my own teammate? I just don't like it.
Yeah, you're not really establishing a book on them. I mean, I think there's a thought that, maybe I'll play against you someday with trades, et cetera. But you're not really, that's not first and foremost, that's not in the front of your mind. It just isn't. I do think that that's a little, and your competitive level, it's kind of always a joke fest, really. It's hard not to kind of revert to that because these are your buddies.
That's right. Here's Castillo, a career .097 hitter, does have a hit this year, and it's 0-2. Cardinals have Flaherty, Edman, Carlson coming up. It's a small sample size, but I'm liking that 1-2 punch at the top with Edman and Carlson.
Yes.
And a strikeout, second of the afternoon for Jack Flaherty. Guys, frozen beverage every day. Folks in Big Mac land. And join us for a day game this Thursday. 10,000 fans entering with a ticket. Lead with a one-of-a-kind lapel pin set honoring Cardinals Hall of Famers Bob Gibson and Lou Brock. Presented by Central Bank. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Flaherty, Edman, Carlson against Castillo. 2-0 our score. Cardinals picked up a run on a ground ball off the bat of Goldschmidt in the first inning. That scored Tommy Edman. And a Tyler O'Neill solo home run in inning number 2. Castillo has been really good. 6 starts at Busch Stadium, 4-1, 2.39 ERA. And for whatever reason, when he's at home against St. Louis, ERA about 7.5, and he's 0-4.
Clearly, it's more of a hitter's ballpark anyway, but those numbers are just so drastically different. It is a bit of a surprise. I like what the Cardinals have done so far in this game. A run in the first, a run in the second. Really has not been their pattern this year. The pattern has been one big inning and then not much else beyond that. And you'd like to see him get in the habit of really being a threat every single inning.
Castillo last year threw a complete game down the stretch when the Reds caught fire to make postseason play. Really was shocking to see their offense. Wasn't very good last year and then shut out in their series against the Atlanta Braves. 0-2 pitch and a strikeout of Flaherty. First strikeout for Castillo. Top of the lineup coming up. Edman with a base hit to right field and a run scored. Cardinals 8-0 when Tommy scores a run. The versatility has been huge in the first now 21 games, including today. He has played 101 2/3 innings at second base, 74 1/3 innings in right field. No errors on the year.
So it is early. We played the first 1/8 of the season, and you look around baseball, the 2 teams that have surprised me the most in the early going, the American League, the Boston Red Sox, off to a good start. They're playing better than 500. I thought it might be a long year for them.
I really
did. And also I'm surprised by the San Francisco Giants holding their own in the West. You think of that as just the Dodgers and the Padres, but the Giants are playing good baseball.
You know, back to Edman here. He leads the team with 7 defensive gems. That's a play that takes extraordinary effort. That's the definition of it. 7 of them.
Who's the
gem master?
Is a gemologist? No, that's not right. Who's the one that's the expert at that says, now that Dan McLaughlin is a gem and that is not? Who says that?
Statcast.
Did they have a coin somewhere?
I don't know. You're asking too many questions.
I'm just curious.
I'm just giving the facts
here. I know. I'm with you. I'm just pushing it deeper. That's all.
I got you.
And I don't disagree that he's had a lot of gems.
What would define a gem in your playbook?
I think it's a play that 95% of the time is not made. And maybe that's what they do.
That's what I was going to say. 95%.
Yeah. And that could be an outfielder, you know, with exceptional speed to get a ball or catching it on the dive, or an infielder laying out as he did.
Castillo has to hurry. Edman is out. Good play.
But I would say when Andrew Kisner kept a ball foul in a game a few days ago against Washington, there was a little tapper down the third base line that may have come back. Avila hit it. Could have been a hit. He instinctively jumped out from behind home plate because he saw that ball might go fair, and there were because of the shift, nobody at third. Kind of a key moment in the game, and he went out and dove to keep it foul. That's not taught anywhere. In my mind, that was a gem. But I'm sure he didn't get one for that.
Here's Dylan Carlson. Came in batting .281, now on the rise with a base hit. And I do think it's worth repeating, though, he's had the fewest pitches seen in the strike zone among any qualified rookie. They are pitching him tough, and he has made some adjustments. And another guy that's been up and down in this lineup. 5 different spots in the order to start this season for Dylan Carlson. The 1-2 pitch. Out of play. He saw 5 pitches in his first plate appearance. 3rd in the National League in pitches per plate appearance. About 4.5 the average. Shift on the right side of the infield. And the 1-2.
I think it's interesting that the book on Castillo is he never throws a slider to a left-handed batter, and he's thrown 2 to Dylan Carlson this at bat. First pitch, and he hung 1 too, and maybe that's why he doesn't throw many. But I do think if you're a 3-pitch pitcher, you have to at least show it. Give him something else to think about.
And a swing and a miss. Strikeout of Carlson. 2 in the inning, 2 in the game for Castillo. We move to the 4th, 2-0 St. Louis. Roaming the ballpark, the T-Mobile coverage cam here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. With Rick Horton, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Beautiful, gorgeous day here in downtown St. Louis. 2-0 our score. 9 up, 9 down for Flaherty. Top of the lineup, Blandino, Winker, and Castellanos. 5 ground ball outs. Couple of strikeouts along the way. First time through for Flaherty. First pitch swinging, popped up on the infield. Edman, 1 away. Jesse Winker grounded out to second. 0 for 1 today. Shift on the right side. And the first pitch. Fastball taken high and away. Got good life on that fastball. Remember, and probably a byproduct of coming out of spring training, cold day, but he was hitting around 93, 92. Saw that a lot in spring training too, and now the velocity has returned. Seeing him more consistent in that 95, 96. Taken in, 2 balls and no strikes.
Another thing about Jack, and you say the same thing about Carlos, and I would say the same thing about Wainwright, is they're conditioned, and I don't mean just physical condition like their wind and their lower body strength, but just even their arm strength to go deep, throw a lot of pitches, and to still have that velocity late.
He has just missed. He's been around the zone all day. 3-0 the count.
Good start for Jack against a very good lineup.
Arenado way off the line. Huge shift here for Winker. 3-0 pitch. 3-1.
Reds were first in the National League in batting coming into this series, and first in home runs. So this is a team that has power, and I mean they kind of have the whole package on the offensive side. I think they'll be better than many have given them credit for. The question will be, does their pitching stand up?
3-2. Speaking of that pitching, Johan Oviedo will make a start coming up. With all the games the Cardinals have in a row, they're in the midst of 17 in a row without an off day. The 3-2 pitch. Driven out to center, and that'll get down for a base hit. The first hit for the Reds today. Winker held to a single. Brings in Nick Castellanos.
Not a bad pitch. 3-2. It's a kind of a get me over slider. Winker again, a great fastball hitter, was on that. I actually, what I noticed on that last play more than anything was the take charge, aggressive posturing of the center fielder Dylan Carlson, who looks to me that he's gaining in confidence in center field.
And ball one to Castellanos. Fly to right first time up. Beautiful day here at Busch. Glad you're with us on Bally Sports. 2-0 our score. Cardinals picked up a run in the first on a ground out by Goldschmidt, scoring Tommy Edman. And Tyler O'Neill an opposite field home run. Solo shot, 2-0. The 1-0 pitch by Flaherty. Ground ball left side. Arenado. The turn. Double play. Second double play turn by the Cardinals. Midway through 4 to zip St. Louis. West is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the St. Louis Cardinals. Goldschmidt, Arenado, DeYoung. 2-0 our score. Well pitched on both sides thus far, especially from the Cardinals' perspective. Flaherty is allowed just one base hit.
And good pitching yesterday. Miley was good on the red side. He only allowed 5 Cardinal hits. And John Gant was better than him.
It was the first ground ball double play off the bat of Castellanos this season to end that inning. Cardinals have turned a pair in this series. Goldschmidt, the RBI, back in the first inning, his 10th of the season. The 0-2.
We've had several shots of the Cardinals dugout, and you've noticed that the coaches and manager not wearing face masks, and that's part of their new protocol because they have more than 85% of their players have had the vaccine, and baseball is allowing them to do that. Mike Schilt was talking today about how much he kind of appreciates that and enjoys that fact, and he's proud of his team. And of course, he said very clearly, if people choose not to do it, that's their right. I support them, but it's given them a chance to have a little bit more laxity with their protocols, and again, that's from MLB.
Cardinals will go on the road to Pittsburgh this weekend, and some of the rules then with this are laxed in terms of being able to eat outside, those kind of things,
and even be with teammates.
Yes, in their rooms,
yeah,
that kind of thing.
Harrison Bader told me this winter that he was never, I mean, he almost, I don't want to say the word happy, but the happiest he was only content, I think that's the words he said, when he was playing center field and it was game time. And that was a joy of being able to be out there and be free. And so the reality of what the protocol has meant to a lot of players and a lot of people in other walks of life, of course, has just been a bit of a challenge. Very social game, baseball, with your teammates. And it almost feels like your teammates aren't really your teammates if you're not spending time with them.
Strikeout of Goldie. Third strikeout for Castillo.
Getting ready to take off his arm guard and walk to first base, and it had to go a different direction. Close pitch went Castillo's way.
Now Nolan Arenado. Seeing now a little bit of a transition in how defenses are approaching Nolan. Grounded into a 6-3 double play first time up. We had seen some exaggerated shifts. This pitch popped up. Catcher wants it. That's Barnhart, and he'll make the play. So 2 outs in the home half of the 4th. Registration now open for the Cardinals virtual 5K presented by Bally Sports Midwest, and this year will celebrate Lou Brock and his legacy both on and off the field. Proceeds benefit Girls on the Run And Cardinals Care Redbird rookies register at cardinals.com/5K.
Paul DeJong off to a slow start at home. I mean, very slow start at home. He's done all his damage on the road. Be nice to get cheered for a home run.
He's got 5 of them this year. Driven in 10. Grounded into the shift. First time up. Taken by second baseman Jonathan India on the shortstop side of the bag. 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield deep and straight away. There's 3 outfielders and there's a bird in center. Now that is a great view of the game. Right in the middle of things. Do you see him?
I do see him. There has to be some, I'm going to say, some concessions there for him. It looks like a it's like a red-winged blackbird to me, but a little far away for me to tell.
Just be thankful Randy Johnson isn't around.
Right.
Pulled foul. Well, if you're in San Francisco or Wrigley Field around the 7th or 8th inning,
right, the
Birds, they make their way into the ballpark.
I noticed that the bird is actually shading him a little bit more to hit the other way now that he's got 2 strikes.
Exactly. Smart. The 2-2 pitch. Full count. Justin Williams on deck. Cardinals, the only National League team now with 5 players, 10 or more runs batted in. DeJong, one of them. And he walks. Walk number 1 from Castillo. In steps Justin Williams, grounded out to Votto first time up. So 2 outs and a runner at first base. And ball 1. Short lead at first by DeJong. Third baseman Blandino well off the line at third, even with the bag. And a chopper right to Votto, steps on the bag. 5th inning rolls in. When we come back, Cardinals on top, looking for a weekend sweep.
Tommy Edman doing it all, part of our all-state good hands, whether he's out making grabs in right field or making the diving plays like yesterday in the infield at second base. He's quite impressive so far this season with the glove. Had a chat with Tommy on the pregame show earlier today. Asked him how he felt about people mentioning his name amongst the words Gold Glove at this point in his career and early on this season. Tommy told me, I try not to think about it too much, just trying to do my job, but credit to the pitching staff for giving me plays to make. I just try to take pride in making those innings as short as possible.
Joey Votto at the plate. Grounded into the shift. That went to short on the second base side of the bag. Tommy Edman, during the shutdown last year, working at St. Louis University with Colton Wong and with Paul DeJong last year. Went to spring training. Some of the guys got to St. Louis, and he was one of them. Here's an 0-2. Ripped down the right field line, but yanked foul. Darren Hendrickson, longtime baseball coach at SLU, head baseball coach, just recorded his 900th collegiate win.
And a longtime batting practice pitcher at the ballpark, too.
0-2 pitch, taken high.
Congratulations to Darren.
And the slider coming up here. You can see that Kisner set up down and in, and that probably got too much of the plate. Also got away with it.
I believe he did. I do want to extend a birthday wish to Max Gifford, who's 18 years old today. His father Matt is so instrumental around the ballpark handling all the operations, and there are a lot of operations to handle during baseball in 2021. So happy birthday, Max.
Swing and a miss and a strikeout of Votto. He's 18.
He's 8. Yes, he is. Sorry to tell you that.
Oh my goodness. Happy birthday, Max.
Changeup of Flaherty. Again, more of a straight change with a little tail to it. But Votto read fastball and was way out in front.
So the last 10 games, and this includes today, Suarez is 3 for his last 40. (19 strikeouts). Grounded out to third, first time up. He makes that pitch again. He's pulling off so much.
You can, from where we are too, it's very obvious to see from right behind home plate. Just his first move is open front shoulder. That's what you see. Open front shoulder, swinging at a pitch that's down and away.
2-2.
And when you open up that front shoulder, you'd think you can maybe catch up to the ball inside better, and maybe you can, but you got no chance of hitting the ball away unless you keep that shoulder in.
Pulled foul. Jack with 11 swings and misses today. The 2-2 out of play.
Hopefully not something that starts today for Suarez, but we're going to be picking up our iPad or looking on our phone 3 weeks down the road or 4 weeks down the road, and he's going to have 6 homers in a week and 25 RBIs, and he's going to be 18 for 22. That's the kind of guy Suarez is.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, it is just a matter of time with him.
Outfield is deep. They are straight away. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Suarez. Broke his bat, and it's a souvenir down the left field line. Flaherty had him way out in front.
I wonder if there's maybe some correlation between the issues he's having defensively moving to shortstop and what's happening offensively. You know, you just don't feel like
I was thinking that too.
Like the player you normally are. You know, you can't go out there and say, well, I'm my defensive person now, and I'm going to come in and be my offensive person. You're the same guy. You know, all day long you're the same guy, and so those feelings that you have defensively and maybe the rough spots he has there may be carrying over.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 6th time he has struck out in this series, and Flaherty is up to 4 back-to-back Ks here in inning number 5. Here's Senzel. Took a really good play by Goldschmidt in foul territory to track down a pop-up. He's 0 for 1. Goldschmidt really playing far off the line at first base and had a ways to go get it. Senzel, a line drive that'll carry 2. Dylan Carlson, 1, 2, 3 go the Cincinnati Reds. O'Neill, Kisner, Flaherty coming up. 2-0 Cards. Off, and he homered his first time up. Back in the second, into the bleachers in right center. Statcast presented by Google Cloud.
Wasn't a cheapie. 419 feet the other way. Exit velocity close to 105 miles an hour. And he certainly launched it.
O'Neill, Kisner, and Flaherty, 7, 8, and 9. Cardinals won the first 2 games of this series. Friday night, Kim went 5 2/3. Yesterday, John Gant, 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs. And today, so far, 1 hit allowed through 5 by Jack Flaherty.
And regardless of the outcome of this game, it's starting to feel more and more like Cardinals baseball with what the starting pitching has been like.
Certainly what you anticipated.
Yeah, 100%.
First 15 games, the ERA of the starters was about 6.5. They had 1 quality start in the first 15 games, and they've gotten 4 in the last 5.
A week or so ago, you'd look at the league stats, and earned run average is not the only stat for pitchers, but it is certainly recognized as an important one. How many earned runs do you give up? I mean, that matters. There's a lot of, again, other analytics, but to have the Cardinals last in the National League in earned run average.
O'Neill again, out to center, at the track, at the wall. He's done it again. Goodbye. 2 for 2. 2 solo shots. 3-0 Cardinals.
He strikes again, this time on a breaking ball. He sat on it, smoked it again. Tyler talking yesterday about the reset being good for him, timing-wise.
And a curtain call for Tyler O'Neill. 2 for 2, 2 solo home runs, his 3rd of the year. Kisner, a base hit into right. The 2nd career multi-home run game for Tyler O'Neill. Kisner 1 for 2. And here comes Jack Flaherty, who can handle the bat. And while we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Did your favorite song move you a little too much? Hey, it happens. When it's time for a breather, you can turn your debit card on or off right from your phone with the Great Southern mobile app, all without missing a beat.
Kisner has hit safely in back-to-back games, 15 now of 21 career starts. He's at first base, third baseman Blandino anticipating the bunt. Flaherty squares and takes ball 1. So Votto holding it first. He was charging as well. Blandino is way in. A lot of action and potential action on this play on a bunt.
I think the idea is to bunt it to the first base side because Votto's got the longer run to come get it. There's runners at first and second, and we don't get a chance to talk about bunting very much because it's not done as much. But if there's a runner at first base, you bunt it to the first baseman because he has to hold the runner there. Third baseman's breathing down your neck. Pitcher's going to charge, but it's the right side of the field that's a little more open. Now, if it's runners at first and second, then you bunt it to the third baseman to make him field it so there won't be a play at third.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Flaherty gets the bunt down. Votto thought about going to second base. And that's really the difference of a right-handed first baseman as opposed to a left-handed.
Boy, that's so right. I mean, Votto was charging it hard. He certainly capable of making that play. But a good jump by Kisner, and the fact that he's right-handed. So instead of just being able to throw the ball, he's got to turn around to throw the ball. And that extra split second is enough to decide not to throw there.
Tommy Edman 1 for 2, base hit to right and a run scored.
Good bunt by Jack.
Absolutely. Shift on the right side. Edman bunting here and pops it foul.
Now that I don't like. And the reason I don't like it is you've got a guy in scoring position, and Tommy Edman, who's hit Castillo well, I'm going to take my chances with him swinging the bat. And if he gets a bunt hit, you don't score a run. So you need to get 2 hits to score the run instead of just 1. And the odds clearly not as good. So I think at this point you drive him in.
The 0-1 pitch. Outfield straight away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The old saying used to be if a guy bunts with a guy in second base, you're essentially saying, hey, you drive him in, to the guy on deck.
Pass the buck.
And that's assuming your bunt is successful.
Here's a 1-1. Just a bit high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cardinals 0 for 1 today with runners in scoring position in this series. They're 3 for 14. The 2-1.
I like the 2 shots at driving in a run here.
The 2-2 pitch. Edman, a ground ball to Jonathan India. Kisner to third, and the Redbirds will need a 2-out hit. May 3rd through the 6th, Budweiser gifting 7,500 fans ages 21 and older the 10th Stein in the championship series, highlighting the Cardinals' World Championship against the Yankees back in 1942. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Here's Carlson, 1 for 2 today, singled to center, struck out swinging back in the 3rd. Blandino in on the grass off the line, so Kisner can get way down the line. You think about a guy that occasionally will throw that slider even to a lefty, overcooks it. Ball gets away, he could score. Up the middle, base hit, 2-out hit, Dylan Carlson. Second hit of the day. Drives in Kisner. 4-0 Cardinals.
Nice easy swing by Dylan Carlson. He has a sweet swing from the left side. Not very complicated on that swing. Finds a hole. And I like the way the Cardinals have scored in 3 innings in this game. Thinking more about Tommy Edman's play. The other part there is I know in his mind he's thinking, if I can get him to third base with 1 out, then Carlson can also hit a sacrifice fly and drive him in. So he's thinking manufacturing a run. But I'm very happy with Edman and Carlson as producers at the top of the lineup.
Ooh, what a rip there by Goldschmidt. That went right through the legs, by the way, of Castillo up the middle. The 6th hit in the series for Dylan Carlson. 2 runs in the inning, 4 in the game. Here in the bottom of the 5th. Short lead at first. Cardinals and really Major League Baseball they just don't run all that much. You would think the candidates currently in the lineup for the Cardinals would be Edman, O'Neill, maybe Carlson. Here's an 0-1 pitch.
It's been studied extensively by the analytics, and the expected run production is really the algorithm, the formula, whatever word you want to use, and no matter how you crunch it, baseball has just determined that it's just the odds are it's not a good play. Odds are is you give the batter a chance to swing.
You know what's odd about the year of Dylan Carlson? That was his first run batted in here in St. Louis. Swinging the bat so well.
That is odd. Another way to describe the run expectancy thing is I almost think we have to rethink what does it mean to be in scoring position. You know, maybe Dylan Carlson's already in scoring position.
I think that's the way the Cardinals view it.
Right.
1-2 pitch. Spoiled by Goldschmidt. Cardinals have 4 as a team. And that's Tommy Edman on 4 of 5 attempts. Third fewest right now in Major League Baseball. Only 3 players in the Cardinal lineup have attempted a stolen base. Edman, O'Neill, and Williams. All of second base. Here's a 1-2 pitch. See Goldschmidt trying to protect that outside corner. Back-to-back days he's had calls go against him there, so you can see he's protecting. Grounded out back in the first. That brought in Edman for his 10th run batted in. Called out on strikes in the 4th. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2. Pulled foul.
Have to assume this is the last batter that Castillo is going to face. If he gets him out, he's due up third.
They faced a very similar situation yesterday with Wade Miley.
Right.
This will be pitch number 85 on the day. And the 2-2 pitch. Ricky, I think you hit the nail on the head. Cardinals look at Dylan Carlson in scoring position right now.
Yeah.
Ball in the gap or a ball over the wall.
Yeah. And now he's running.
Yep. Three-two pitch. The next to Goldschmidt. Soft liner to third, knocked down. Blandino stays with it. Stretched by Votto. Tyler O'Neill 2 for 2. Pair of solo home runs and a curtain call here at Busch. 2 pair of solo home runs, numbers 2 and 3 this year. But Dylan Carlson moved into the number 2 spot in the lineup this weekend. 6 for 10. So you're talking about lengthening the lineup. The return of O'Neill, moving Carlson to number 2. We've seen a difference. Strike to Tucker Barnhart. No activity right now for the Reds in their bullpen. And that could change here momentarily.
You'd love to have a lineup where the other team's pitcher never feels like they can take a rest.
Pitch count for Flaherty here in the 6th inning is 67 pitches. So Barnhart, India, and then the pitcher Castillo. The 0-1 pitch. Out of play.
For those who may have missed Adam Wainwright's comments a week or so ago. He said, if my pitch count is high when I go into the 6th inning, I'm a thrower and not a pitcher. He said, I hate it. He said, there's nothing I hate more than pitching just 5 innings in a game. And you could feel the passion coming out in Adam when he said that. And I think he was sending a message not just to himself, because he'd had 2 games in a row like that. And he said, I'm not going to do that again 3 times in a row. But I think he's sending a message to his fellow starters how high that bar should be.
2-2. Jack Flaherty in his career is 25-7 when he gets 2 or more runs of support. 2-2 pitch. Ooh, just missed.
So we mentioned Adam Wainwright now in a way that we would have mentioned Chris Carpenter 10 years ago, and in a way we're going to mention Jack Flaherty in the very near future as the guy that's really the centerpiece. And he is clearly the opening day starter and very talented. Spoke with Mike Maddox during the offseason and talked to him about pitching staff in general. At that time, he wasn't sure Waino was going to be back, and he said, well, I got to tell you, we got a guy on our team that people listen to. He's pitching today.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball. He has struck out 3 of the last 4 and 5 today. Mention what Flaherty's done with 2 or more runs of support. He's undefeated when he gets 4. And so far he's tossing a 1-hitter. He's not walked a man. 5 strikeouts, a lot of ground ball outs. Cardinals have turned a double play behind him. Payton has moved to the on-deck circle. And there's a strike to Jonathan India, grounded out to short. Here's an 0-1 pitch. Shift on the left side of the infield. Outfield is straight away. India was the number 5 overall pick a few drafts ago out of the University of Florida. Played in the SEC. Burst onto the scene this spring.
Watch out.
Boy, now he's hit on the helmet.
Boy, that was a scary moment. Jack clearly not doing that on purpose. Mike Maddox out to kind of calm him down. Blandino clearly wasn't happy with Jack for that. Just above the ear hole. And you can't blame him for not being happy about it. And no time to react. And he's still being, and there's Jack's reaction. Almost couldn't watch.
Thank goodness he's all right. Scary moment.
I wonder what the conversation is all about, whether they're going to issue a warning or not.
And I think that is what this is about.
And I don't understand why you would do that here. I mean, I think they've turned a terrible pitch from Jack Flaherty into some kind of intent. And I think all that does is make it worse. I mean, Blandino might have felt like it was on purpose at the beginning. I can't imagine that he would have. I think he was just mad that it happened. And I can't blame him for that. But to say that there was intent, I'm sure that's what Mike Schilt's saying right now. And David Bell's saying the same thing. He says, I think David Bell's out of this game. He just got tossed. And this is the David Bell that I've seen before. So David either wants Jack tossed or there to be no warning, but he's not happy with this outcome at all.
This will be the 12th career ejection for David Bell. You know, he's not happy clearly with what's just transpired, but also his team comes in having lost 6 straight.
Right. And the way the warnings work, the warning actually goes to him also. I mean, you warn both teams. Once the umpires get involved in it and make it a warning, he's already been thrown out of this game, but he's getting his money's worth. David, one of the most mild-mannered people, as I mentioned yesterday, that you'd ever know until he feels like it's time to say something strongly, and he's not afraid to. Here's the pitch, up and in. Oh, just awful.
So Mark Payton will be the pinch hitter.
I think it's given Blandino a little time to just catch his breath, lower his heart rate.
I did see him kind of gesture over to the Cardinals in a good way and just kind of, hey, little fist pump, I'm all right. I'm sure some of the Cardinals were checking on him. And Flaherty will get just a chance to get loose here. Had to stand. So gets one throw, and now Payton will be the pinch hitter.
There's nobody in baseball that likes to see that.
No.
And as I mentioned, Jack could barely watch.
Shift on the right side. India, the runner at first base. 4-0 our score. The flip side of this too, from the pure baseball side of this, you can't have Flaherty pitching scared, so to speak.
Right.
You got to still pitch your game. Look at India saying something to Flaherty.
And the first base umpire is trying to intercede there before he goes too far with that.
So is Delino DeShields, first base coach of the Reds.
Again, I understand India's frustration.
And the 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reds pinch hitters this year are 5 for 30. Payton 1 for 7 in this spot. Shallow center. Carlson 2 away.
Third baseman,
Alex Blandino. Carson Fulmer is throwing in the Reds bullpen. So close the book on Castillo. 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs. Walked 1 and struck out 3. Gave up a pair of solo home runs to Tyler O'Neill. And the first pitch is strike. Blandino is 0 for 2. Struck out on a 3-2 pitch, swinging back in the first, and also popped out to second. If he gets the out here, I think it's going to be interesting.
Yes.
To see India go to his dugout and Jack to his, especially if you have a strikeout and he's still at first base.
based on his motioning to the bench, he's not mad at the Cardinals, but he's not happy with Jack Flaherty right now.
And the 1-1 pitch. The fly ball into right. Williams with the catch. Gonna head with the medical team, make sure he's all right. So the second baseman is out, and Cal Farmer takes over at second base.
The medical team just got him off the top row of the bench.
Yeah.
He had just come out after that inning after he rounded third. The third base coach, J.R. House, told him he was out of the game. He didn't like that. He firmly planted himself on the top of that bench, and I have a feeling he was going to have more to say. And I think maybe the athletic trainer realized everybody's trying to calm him down. Really, teammates, coaches, and the other team. And again, I don't think anybody's blaming him. They understand just how frightening that can be.
Fulmer, his last outing, gave up 4 earned in an inning plus, walked 3. Arenado at the plate, grounded into a double play and popped out. So Farmer takes over at second, Fulmer on the mound. And the 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Boy, it makes you swallow hard when you see something like that.
Scary. The 2-1 pitch. Arenado grounds it left side, third. Blandino, long throw, and gets him. May 7th, 8th, and 9th, Cardinals host the Rockies. 10,000 fans take home a Cardinals purse courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. So the line again on Castillo: 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, gave up a pair of home runs. And now DeYoung grounded into the shift and also walked. Picks up a base hit on a hanging breaking ball.
Just sitting up there at top of the zone. Mentioned Paulie D has not been as productive at home. Good to see him pick up a knock.
Just saw that shot of DeYoung and Votto and Stubby Clapp there, and I'm sure that conversation is about the situation that just transpired. Sometimes messages are given to the first baseman. Runner gets at the bag and you talk about it.
A little diplomacy happening, and I think that's healthy.
Williams 0 for 2, twice is grounded to Votto. Shift on the right side. Drops to a knee and a big swing and a miss. 0-2.
I'll say it again, and I did misspeak at first calling him Blandino, and obviously it was India who's the one that got hit. I don't blame him for his reaction, and I think maybe down the road those messages that we're talking about that will be delivered are more important to him than they are right at this moment. It'd be interesting to hear what David Bell says about what incensed him more. Was it India getting hit, or was it the fact that they issued the warning?
Joe West, his 193rd career ejection of David Bell. So 193 in his career. The last was another longtime baseball family, Aaron Boone, last September. 2-2 the count.
wonder if Joe's longevity has created a reason why he's throwing out multi-generational managers.
You get the kid, then you get the dad, you get grandpa.
Maybe there's some kind of record in there we don't know about.
I think 1976 was his first major league game that year. 3-2 pitch, and Williams lifts a fly ball to left. DeYoung was off of the pitch and back to the bag at first. It has made me think about Joe West and how the game has changed so much from 1976 to what we're doing now. It's a different game. I think it's safe to say the strike zone is different. The leagues are different. You have instant replay. I mean, there's just a ton. The velocity,
strength of players.
Here's Tyler O'Neill. Michael Saunders, Joey Votto, Justin Morneau, Larry Walker, the only Canadian-born players with 3 home runs in a single game. Larry Walker did it in a game that I was calling. He was with the Rockies back in 1999. Rain was falling that night at Busch Stadium, and Larry Walker deposited one deep into the seats in right for a 3 home run night. Busch Stadium 2. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And why do I remember the rain was falling that night? I have no idea, but it was.
Sometimes it just marks the moment.
Maybe so.
I recall doing the game when our star right fielder, young right fielder,
Oscar Taveras,
hit his first major league home run, and I know the rain was falling then.
Against the San Francisco Giants on a Saturday here at Busch, Saturday afternoon.
Some moments just freeze in your brain.
Two balls and 1 strike. Shift on for O'Neill. 2-2. O'Neill showing us that power that we talk about so much, with both home runs going into the seats in right center. Outfield deep, straight away, and a 2-2 pitch. Strikeout of O'Neill. 7th inning rolls in. When we come back, it's 4-0.
The 7th inning, when might we see Harrison Bader back with the Cardinals? Well, Mike Shildt told the media earlier this morning Bader is at full speed and throwing at his comfort level. Shildt said he was pretty optimistic we could see Bader's return within the next 7 to 10 days. Also, as expected, the Cardinals moving to a 6-man rotation this week. 17 games in 17 days for the Cardinals. Mike Shildt told me they will formally announce tomorrow that Johan Oviedo will make the spot start on Wednesday in that game against the Phillies.
Winker, Castellanos, and Votto. Freddie Benavides is the new manager, acting manager right now for the Reds after the ejection of David Bell. Pretty well hit out to deep left field. O'Neill back and out of room. A home run opposite way. Winker with his 4th home run. Reds get on the board. Just their 2nd hit, and that cuts into the lead. It's now 4-1.
Tyler O'Neill backed up into that wall pretty hard. I think he thought he was going to be able to make that play. He thought he still had room. The ball was hit right on the money the other way. He got it right on the screws. And O'Neill backpedaling, turning around, thinking he's going to make the play, and boom, smacks into the wall. He may have hurt the wall.
I'll take my chances with Tyler.
By the way, July 22nd, 2006 and August 26th of 2006, Joe West ejected Buddy Bell.
Line to left, base hit. Back-to-back hits. That'll get the bullpen busy, I'm sure, for the Cardinals. Yeah. He also had ejections. This is father-son ejections for Joe West. Bob Boone in 2003. Aaron Boone, as I mentioned, in 2019. Jordan Hicks starts to throw in the Cardinal bullpen. Flaherty's first home run allowed since opening day. Also had a scoreless streak of 18 innings.
A season high 13,348 fans at the ballpark today. And we're glad every one of them are here.
While we have a moment, discounted Cardinals tickets are for you. 8 or more gallons of gas at a participating station using the My Phillips 66 app and get up to 50% off Cardinals tickets. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66. It's Joey Votto, who is 0 for 2, grounded into the shift and also struck out. Pitch kept in front by Kisner. Pitch count approaching 90 now for the Cardinals right-hander. And he set down the first 10 that he saw today. It's a base hit by Winker back in the 4th. He has 2 of the 3 hits. He was erased on a double play. And now back-to-back hits here in this 7th. Ground ball could be 2. That's Arenado with the turn. 6-5-3 on the double play.
Well, if you'd have told somebody in 1950, hey, we're going to have a game in 2021 and we're going to have a 6-5-3 double play, they'd say, what are you talking about? How can that be? Well, there it was. With the shift, creates different combinations. Well done.
Here's Suarez 0 for 2. Flaherty, by the way, is due up second for the Cardinals, looking ahead to the home half of the 7th. Kisner, Flaherty, Edman due up. Jordan Hicks continues to throw in the Cardinal bullpen. We saw him in game 1. 2 balls and no strikes.
Been anxious for Jordan to get back out there. Wasn't his best outing. His command was not good, but you know, best way to kind of forget about it is to get back out and be sharp.
The 2-0 pitch. 2-1. Two and 2. Back-to-back fastballs. You can see Suarez just kind of in between right now. 2-2.
Well, sometimes when you're struggling, you start to guess more, and that makes it worse. Can make it worse.
Outfield deep straight away. Crowd comes alive a bit. 3-2 pitch. And he struck him out. No argument from Suarez. 6 strikeouts today for Jack Flaherty. Time to stretch. By authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Andrew Kisner, Carpenter on deck, and then Tommy Edman. First pitch swinging, popped up. Votto, 1 away. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So Flaherty gives up a run, 3 hits in 7 innings. Strikes out 6.
Very solid.
Carpenter pinch hitting for Jack here. It's funny how those starters just find their way to Adam Wainwright, don't they?
They do. They do.
Good, bad, indifferent.
I would not be surprised if there is not some kind of a response from Jack Flaherty to Jonathan India.
For sure.
And I don't know that that's what they're talking about now. The full outing for Jack. A lot of positive things to talk about. Just 3 hits through 7 innings against, again, the top offense at this point in the National League. But maybe finding a way to send him a text, and they might not be a bad idea, and I would suspect he'll do that.
Flaherty is limited now, the Reds, to 3 runs or less in 8 of 9 career starts. 1-2 the count. Big exaggerated shift here for Carpenter. Outfield is straight away. Two balls and 2 strikes. And a strikeout of Carpenter. So 2 outs here in the 7th, and Tommy Edman will be the hitter. Edman is 1 for 3 with a run scored. It was back in the first inning. Grounded back to the pitcher and grounded out to second. Second inning of work for Fulmer. Allowed a base hit to Paul DeYoung. No damage done in the 6th. Here's an 0-1 pitch. Nothing in 2. Oh-2 pitch to Tommy Edman.
Going back to the key to the game, thinking about the expectation of this being a low-scoring game. 4-1 Cardinals as they bat in the 7th inning. I'd put that in the low-scoring category. And the emphasis on how do the Cardinals defend. A couple of double plays they've turned. I think they've taken care of business so far, but 6 more outs to get.
And the 1-2 pitch outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned the Phillies are in town tomorrow. Bryce Harper has popped a couple of home runs today. Wainwright and Wheeler tomorrow. Martinez, Eflin in game 2. Oviedo looks to be the starter on Wednesday, and then Kim in the day game on Thursday. Cardinals go 1, 2, 3. We head to the 8th. Senzel, Barnhart, and then Farmer against Jordan Hicks. Jack Flaherty solid today. 7 innings, 3 hits. Tyler O'Neill a couple of home runs, both solo shots and a curtain call. And a look at our game summary. 4-1 in favor of St. Louis. Some changes now for the Cardinals. New pitcher is Jordan Hicks in our Chevy call to the pen. Pitched on Friday night. 7 games so far this year.
You have to say it's a strength of the team to have the big arms at the back end of their bullpen from the right side. And you can add from the left side, you could add Cabrera in terms of a guy that's got a big arm. But with Jordan Hicks, there's Scott Hurst now playing center field. So Carlson moves from center to right. But with Alex Reyes, Hicks, Gallegos from the right side, that's a formidable bullpen.
2-0 the count on Nick Senzel. Three 3-0. Struggled finding the strike zone in game 1 of this series.
He's gone to the high set this year, and part of the reason he's doing that is to add to his repeatability of his delivery. More downhill, more strikes. But he's having a hard time having his arm catch up to his body. His body's out in front a little bit, and then he's pushing the ball up in the zone. 100 miles an hour he's pushing it. So the velocity's there, but he's just not timed up right. And late walks are tough.
There's Tucker Barnhart. If the Cardinals hold on, they will have won Jack Flaherty's first 5 starts here in 2021. Last time that happened for a starter was 15. Michael Wacha began the year 7-0. Only once in Flaherty's career has St. Louis won 5 consecutive of his starts. Cardinals have turned a pair of double plays today. Arenado well off the line at third. There's ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Barnhart is grounded out to second and struck out. One and 2. St. Louis will have Carlson, Goldschmidt, Arenado coming up. Home half of the 8th. Hurst went into Williams' spot in the lineup. Hicks into the 9 position. Short lead at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and the next by Jordan Hicks. Fouled back. 1-0-1 on the gun.
Normal way to describe a pitcher is you'd say, well, he's a hard thrower. And the opposite, you'd say, well, he's a sinker slider guy. Guess what? Jordan Hicks is both of those. He is a sinker slider guy, but he's also throwing it at 101 miles an hour. That's extraordinary what he is gifted to do.
Here's a 1-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch. And he struck him out on the inside corner.
I think that was a 90-mile-an-hour changeup. My goodness.
Bally Sports Midwest, the home of Cardinals baseball, Blues hockey. Tomorrow we'll bring you both games. You'll find the Cardinals and Phillies here on Bally Sports Midwest. That's at 6. And the Blues and Avalanche Bally Sports Midwest Plus starting at 5:30. Big win for the Blues yesterday. Here's Kyle Farmer, first plate appearance. Took over for Jonathan India, who was hit by a pitch on his helmet. Fastball from Jack Flaherty back in the 6th. And after that, both benches warned, we assume, and David Bell ejected. First pitch, a ball, and the 1-0 by Jordan Hicks. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tyler Naquin at the on deck circle. Two and two. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball. Arenado. The turn. And the throw just a bit wide by Tommy Edman. And Farmer will wind up at second base. It'll be the first error on Tommy Edman this year.
Trying to be very quick with this. He knew he'd have to be. The ball wasn't hit that hard, and he just pulled the throw across a little bit. Paul Goldschmidt trying to hang on the bag. Not the worst of errors.
There's Tyler Naquin. He's had a tremendous start with the Reds. In time called. Runner at second. 2 outs. 4-1 our score. Cardinals have out hit Cincinnati 7-3. And they lead it 4-1. One again on the gun. I think to your point, Ricky, you could see him. He's been high with a lot of delivery. So what's that telling you?
The arm's behind him. And instead of, it's a release point issue for him. He's not timed up with his body and his arm correctly. Either slow down the body or get the arm up quicker. Slow down the front half.
1-1 again. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carlson, Goldschmidt, Arenado coming up in the home half. Cardinals have still yet to go 3 straight games without an error. The 1-1 pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I can't imagine what it's like to try to hit a 101-mile-an-hour sinker.
Just thinking that. I mean, his changeup is 90. He's throwing sliders at high 80s.
I mean, I remember a long time ago the feeling of 95, 96 straight high fastballs, but 91-mile-an-hour sinker, no chance.
Truly is incredible. Can't imagine trying to catch it. The movement that he's got.
Not easy.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Jordan Hicks to Tyler Naquin. Hit out of play. The 1-2 again. Gets by Kisner. Well, Naquin got off to a tremendous start. Since then, 5 for his last 29. Former Cleveland Indian. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
To your point of Jordan Hicks being hard to catch, over the course of a full season, he's going to be up there among the league leaders with wild pitches. You just don't have a lot of time to react to a ball that's in the dirt or over your head.
The 2-2 pitch. The 2-2 by Jordan Hicks. Naquin base hit into right. Run will score. Cuts a lead now to 4-2 here in the 8th. Alex Reyes gets up and starts to throw in the Cardinal pen.
So the error and the wild pitch do factor into this game. We talked about the little things that can lead to runs, and now you've got tying run at the plate. And I'm not saying it even remotely that would have been an easy double play for Tommy Edman to turn, but if he does turn that, inning's over.
So as I mentioned, Alex Reyes now grabs a baseball and starts to throw. The tying run will come to the plate. In Alex Blandino, 0 for 3 with a strikeout, pop out, and flied out. Two outs and a runner at first. Fought it off, and a foul ball into the Cardinal dugout. Good luck with that pitch. Not going to do much with that.
Well, you'd really like to see Winker lead off an inning, wouldn't you?
Yes. It's a key at bat in this game.
I agree. You've got a fastball pitcher with a fastball hitter on deck and after him, and then Votto to follow.
Blandino 0 for 4 with a walk and a strikeout against Jordan Hicks in his career. And the 1-1 pitch by Hicks. They're turning into lengthy outings right now for Jordan.
They are
26 pitches. It's all part of the process, though, I would assume, of coming back from Tommy John.
You hope to minimize them, of course, but they're going to happen.
And the 2-1 back to him, stays with it. Flip to Goldschmidt and the out. Reds pick up a run midway through 8, and it's 4-2. Bally Sports Midwest is brought to you by Seidman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer, and by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Sean Doolittle in 9 games this year, has been around the major leagues a long time. A couple of days of rest, and our Chevy called to the pen. Lefty is in. Carlson, Goldschmidt, Arenado. 4-2 our score. Cardinals looking for a sweep.
Boy, it'd be nice to get one extra run here and give Alex Reyes some breathing room in the 9th inning. And a good thing that Giovanni Gallegos was able to go 2 innings yesterday afternoon, late afternoon, because of the rain delay. So Reyes would be fresh enough to come in and pitch today.
Dylan Carlson with a single to center, struck out in the third, and an RBI base hit to center in the fifth, all from the other side of the plate. Here's a 1-1. Taken down and in. Ball to Dylan Carlson. Going to be odd. We're going to be basically through the first month of the season, and the Cardinals will be done with the Nationals, and by the end of the week, done with the Phillies.
Cardinals, of course, were done with the Phillies and the Nationals last year when COVID came on the scene. It's just an odd thing to think about how little you've seen these teams.
Absolutely.
Especially the ones that train in Arizona.
No doubt. All last year was Central teams. Interleague was Central play. Big gap in left center and a 3-2 pitch. Carlson with a fly ball into right. And it drops in fair. He's thinking two on his way to second, and in there safely. 3-hit day, Dylan Carlson. Young man is off to a good start.
Well, he found a hole there right down the right field line. Castellanos comes up throwing. I thought Suarez was a little late getting to the second base bag. Carlson's on his way and just now coming into the picture. So if he's just now coming into the picture, Castellanos had no one to throw to. I just don't understand why. That's the second time I've seen him do that in this game. Not cover the second base bag and confuse an outfielder.
There's Goldschmidt. You can only think that he thought it was going to go foul or be caught. But you can't take it for granted. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Paul Goldschmidt. Watch out.
Yeah, don't try to catch that.
No, he tried to catch it. No.
Let somebody else try to catch it and you pick it up. I mean, honestly. Saw a gentleman reach up his hand. He's actually shaking that same hand right now. And he didn't get the baseball. So there you go. Now he's got a bruise and a story and no baseball.
Here's a 1-1. If you're going to make the attempt with a ball that's hit about 100 miles an hour at you, you got to get the souvenir, or you start bringing a glove.
I think, honestly, you run out of the way and go buy a baseball somewhere.
Base hit into left. Carlson hesitated, now being waved in. He will score, and Paul Goldschmidt gives the Cardinals their 5th run of the day, and it's 5-2.
Well, I was hoping for that extra run. That didn't take very long. A Dylan Carlson hit just inside the right field line, and then a line drive past Blandino into left. I would take more, actually.
Here's Arenado. He's just been a tick off.
Again.
He's either been a little ahead, mostly ahead. When you see him hitting a ground ball or popping one up a mile high, which he's done a few times in this series, just a tick.
I want to see Scott Hurst's first big league hit today.
DeYoung on deck, and then Hurst inside to Arenado. One ball and one strike. 0 for 3 today. Runner goes. Goldschmidt a stolen base.
Tucker Barnhart is a Gold Glove catcher, and he's only thrown out 1 runner and has given up 6 stolen bases this year. And there's the jump, and that's why he had no chance to throw him out, even if he'd had a quick exchange, and that's why he tried to do it so quickly.
What a jump there by Goldie.
Good base runners pick their spots, don't they?
Yes, they do. 2-1 the count on Nolan Arenado. It's a first stolen base by someone other than Tommy Edman for the Cardinals this year. Their 5th total, 4 of the 5 by Tommy. This season with runners in scoring position, 278 the average for the Cardinal third baseman. Outfield deep. Popped up again. Our Budweiser, what's on tap? The Phillies in town tomorrow. And the start time again, if you have a ticket, it's at 6:45. We'll be on the air at 6 tomorrow with the pregame show. The Budweiser What's on Tap. Adam Wainwright, Zach Wheeler, the former Met, Carlos Martinez, Zach Eflin in game 2. Johan Oviedo will go in game 3. Kim in game 4 as DeYoung pops one up on the infield. And here's Scott Hurst.
It's what I've been looking forward to. First big league hit, perhaps, against a guy who's been a very effective closer, veteran left-hander. Went to one of those schools on the East Coast. I think you know which one that is.
St. John's?
No.
Syracuse.
Go a little further south.
It's one of the Carolinas.
No.
I'm going to do this one time for you, Ricky.
Yes.
One time only this year.
Uh-huh.
He's a Cavalier.
There you go.
Virginia.
There you go.
One time.
That's it?
That's it. You didn't do it in spring training, I don't think.
I don't think so. No.
This is your first 3 games on the TV side this year on regular season play.
Got to get it. Got to keep my streak going.
One time.
One ping only.
That's right. Sean Connery. One ping. One ping only.
We'll see.
Agreed.
Oh, another good swing.
Nothing at 2.
He's got a good swing. He's got a good short swing. He had a terrific spring training too, Scott Hurst. And we've been seeing him, just as we're seeing him today, coming in late for defensive purposes, playing center field, with Carlson moving over to right.
So 2 outs, runner at second, and the 0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hurst was never at the alternate site, which made his call up, I don't know if curious is the right word, but we saw him in spring, and that was his action that he had from the previous spring. That was it. The 1-2. Cardinals have talked about his defense. They really like that. They think it's a plus.
I think that's the specific reason why he was the targeted guy, and that was the area that needed to be patched a little bit for the Cardinals, was outfield defense.
The 1-2 pitch to Scott Hurst. Lifted in the air out to left near the line, and the catch is made. RBI single by Paul Goldschmidt to score Dylan Carlson. A 3-hit day for Dylan, and it's 5-2. Jack Flaherty. And Flaherty, if the Cardinals can hold on, would go to 4-0. Castillo would drop to 1-2. 7 innings, 3 hits, gave up a run that was a homer, struck out 6, no walks in 95 pitches. And if the Cardinals can hold on team-wise, they would go back above 500.
As I mentioned, Jack is back, and he was so good today. He was the Budweiser player of the game in a game where Tyler O'Neill hit 2 home runs.
Yeah.
That's how good he was.
So here is Alex Reyes. He was able to finish the game off. Didn't come, though, without excitement on Friday. And our Chevy called to the pen. 5-2 our score. Cardinals have out hit the Reds 9-4. Here's Jesse Winker.
I could do with a little less excitement.
I am with you. And the first pitch, a strike, catches the top of the zone at 96. Winker 2 for 3. A single to center. And the home run back in the 7th inning. Shift on the right side. Outfield deep. They're straight away. And the 0-1 pitch by Reyes.
Another positive for the Cardinals, Dan. This is the 3rd game of the season where the Cardinals have struck out 5 or less times.
Oh, I love it. And I do think it's worth repeating, but the Cardinals came into the series right in the middle of the pack in terms of strikeouts. So when you're watching the game and you're saying, boy, the Cardinals, a lot of strikeouts. Yes, but that's baseball in 2021.
Sure is.
So the shift now especially exaggerated with 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. We were doing the game together. I'll never forget it when this young man right there made his major league debut against the Reds. And I want to say it was Joey Votto was one of the hitters that inning. And there was a pitch and he looked back at Yachty, eyes like saucers,
right,
and said, "Are you kidding me?" We had heard so much about him, and boy, did he live up to it. It's great to see him back and healthy.
Injuries derailed him a bit, but he's back. And he's got a lot of weapons for you, too. He's not just a one-trick pony, and that's why when you talk to anybody in the Cardinals organization on the development side about what's the future of Alex Reyes, the answer is as a starter. But because of his lack of innings and lack of buildup over the last couple of years, they don't want to rush him out for 200 innings this year. Just don't think that that's right for him. So you put him in the bullpen, you throw 100 or so, see how that works, and maybe build him up next year to go 175, and you're off to the races.
3-2 the count. Winker here, then Castellanos and Votto. Full count delivery. Hit out of play. Tell you what, Winker gives the Cardinals a tough at bat, doesn't he?
He does.
Not just this weekend, it's been in his career.
So Winker reminds me of Justin Turner from the left side, a guy that's
a good comp.
I feel like you could throw the ball 150 miles an hour and he would time it up.
Find a way.
I mean, they just can hit fastballs. They can time it up.
3-2 pitch. Reds talked about that Winker came into this camp 2021 spring training in tremendous condition. He's talked about trying to take his game to another level. Came into this ball game hitting close to 400. He's at 387. And a strike on the outside corner. Could have gone either way, and it goes Reyes' way.
Well, through my pitcher colored glasses that I own and I'm wearing, that's a strike. It was caught kind of funny because it was meant to be inside, but it hit that top of the zone. It hit that box. I think Winker will see that after the fact, as guys have the iPads and the post summary of everything that they do throughout the course of a day. But tough pitch to take either way. Too close to take.
The iPads are back in the dugouts, by the way.
They are.
Which was not allowed last year. Here's Castellanos. Fastball, a beauty. 1 for 3 today. Fly to right, grounded into a double play and singled to left. The 0-1. Down the right field line. This could be trouble. Slicing fair and over the wall for a ground rule double.
That run in the bottom of the 8th inning looms large to me.
Huge now. Instead of having the tying run come to the plate.
He had a ball off the plate in. Somehow kept his hands in and hit the ball that far the other way.
Up and into Votto.
Somewhere Jonathan India not happy about that last pitch. Wherever he may be at the moment.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Back in the 6th inning, he was hit on the helmet. Fastball from Flaherty eventually came out of the game. Shift on the right side of the infield and the 1-0 pitch to Votto. 2 balls, no strikes. And as much as we've talked about that Suarez has struggled, the numbers bear that out. You do not want to see him come up with 2 runners on.
No, he's going to get hot sometime. You just hope it's somewhere else against somebody else.
Votto is hitless in this series. 0 for 10 with 5 strikeouts. And that's taken high. And it's 3-0.
Did you say you did or didn't want an interesting 9th inning?
Uneventful.
Yeah.
Hoping for. But that's the way this has gone. And it may go today. 3-0 pitch with 1 out runner at second. He walked him and the tying run comes to the plate. And with that, Mike Maddox.
I don't know how this can be said without it sounding like a slam against Andrew Knizner, and it is absolutely not meant to be that. But when you get late in the game, there's something about the presence of Yadier Molina that makes the difference.
The intangibles that we talk about with him, and other players talk about that too, the opposition.
And again, I'm a big fan of Andrew Knizner. Think he's got a bright future, but he's not Yadier Molina at the moment.
In the air, left center, Hurst over. O'Neill is there and makes the catch.
Oh my goodness, they almost collided. Oh my, I'm so glad they didn't. I'm sure Scott Hurst is really glad he didn't.
Because he's not going to win that collision.
No, and beyond that, you're just glad somebody caught the baseball. I mean, Hurst was getting ready to catch it. He was on line to catch it, and I don't know who's calling for it. And so similar to a play in right center earlier in this homestand on a ball that dropped. Oh my goodness, that's scary too. Whew.
Nick Senzel. 2 outs, 2 on. Tying run at the plate. Ball 1. He's popped out, lined out, and walked. Two and 0.
Alex looking for save number 5. Hasn't had any easy ones that I remember, and he's made this one a little tough with the double and the walk in this inning.
Cardinals 1 out away from a sweep of Cincinnati. The 2-0 pitch. 3-0. Cardinals trying to get their first sweep of the Reds since 2018, May of that season. Pitch number 20 coming here for Alex Reyes. And the bases are loaded.
Interesting that the misses for Reyes, like the misses for Jordan Hicks, are all high and are all the arm trailing behind the body, and both of them have gone to the high set. Just not timed up perfectly, and no place to put this guy.
Barnhart 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position. The tying run's on. Go ahead run at the plate. And the first pitch is strike. 2 for 6 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position thus far this year.
Fans standing.
Something to keep in mind, a ball in the gap. Senzel, one of the faster players on the roster of the Reds, and he's at first base and can get a sizable lead because Goldschmidt, with 2 outs, left-handed batter, is playing behind him. He's almost on the outfield grass.
Yeah, and the outfield very, very deep for that very reason. Will not let the ball get over their head and get past them.
Tyler Webb getting loose in the St. Louis pen. His time is called. 1 ball, 1 strike with the bases loaded.
Need a strike here on the swing pitch.
Three and 1.
That was a strike.
The 3-1 pitch. Barnhart, ground ball. Goldie will take it himself, and the Cardinals hold on. They win it 5-2 and a weekend sweep against Cincinnati.
Well, another eventful 9th inning, but it turned out the Cardinals' way again. Save number 5 for Alex Reyes. Jack Flaherty goes to 4-0. Tyler O'Neill, a couple of big flies today, and a sweep of the Central Division rival Cincinnati Reds.
Jack Flaherty picks up the win. O'Neill, the 2 solo homers. And the Cardinals back to above 500. 5-2 the final. Back at it again tomorrow, and the post game is next on Bally Sports.